Welcome back to the Holy Shiftball podcast, the show where we challenge everything you've been taught about your mind, your energy, and your reality. I'm Bethany, your energetic bestie, alongside my fabulous soul sister, Sharon. Hey, Sharon.
Hey, Bethany, how are you this morning?
Girl, well, it's been an interesting go today for our show. We've had some, some theatrical glitches in our setup. So, anyway, everything's going good. How are you? What's going on in your reality? What is your holy
Absolutely.
shift ball
I'm
moment?
absolutely fabulous. And yes, we've had a couple of glitches, but that's okay. We're divinely guided. Life is unfolding the way it should. Um, my holy ship ball moment this week was, well, I did some moving yesterday with some furniture. So I hired some movers to move the big, heavy stuff, but it's all in a shipping container. So we had to empty the shipping container and then get to the big stuff and then put it all back in and then move it to the apartment. And I helped them unload and things. And so after I was quite tired. And so I was just sitting there looking. And as I was sitting there taking a breath, there was some sunlight filtering in through the window. And I just sat and stared at the sunlight, and my mind went blank. And it was just wonderful. And I just sat there for about 5 minutes. I don't even know how long it was. And then when I snapped back to it, came back to reality, I thought, you know what? I think I was just in a little bit of self hypnosis there. Yeah, Ron wants to know if the sunlight was on my shoulder. No, it wasn't, Ron. But yeah, I think I just kind of zoned out and had a little bit of self hypnosis. So my holy shit balls moment was, I wonder how many times a day we self hypnotize. If that indeed was self hypnosis, we'll ask Linda when she comes on. But how many times a day, or how many, like how often do we just take a breath and we go into a form of hypnosis, we don't even know it. So anyways, that was my holy shit balls moment. What about you, girlfriend?
Well,
What was
it's
yours?
interesting that you say that because my holy shift ball moment this week was I was in back to back marketing meetings all day. And at one point, I
So
was,
much fun.
oh man, I felt my nervous system like
Uh,
totally starting to react. My chest was going tight. My thoughts were like getting louder and my mind started to like try to solve everything at once.
yeah.
Uh, and it was just like, instead of pushing through it, I noticed something. I caught something. I caught the pattern in real time. And I, started to tune in and I started to conscious breathe. So I was sitting there in my chair, almost white knuckling it, like, oh, I'm doing this again. And I began to take notice of my breath. And I just connected with my breath and just, sat there for that moment and just breathed and became aware of it. And what that brought me to was presence. And so when I got to presence, I remember, oh my gosh, I can choose how I wish to think and feel in this moment. So connecting my, breath really shifted my frequency. And so, it's interesting. Today's conversation is all about hypnosis and accessing the subconscious mind. So,
Mhm.
Sharon, with that said, who in the world do we have on the show today?
Well, buckle up, shift ballers, because today we're diving deep into the subconscious. And yes, we're doing it without clucking like chickens. And throughout the episode, see if you can spot any chickens. Let's just throw that out there.
Mhm.
Our guest today is Linda Herrick. She's a powerhouse in the world of hypnosis. She's a certified instructor through the International Hypnosis Federation, and she helps people access the deeper layers of their mind where the patterns, beliefs, and emotional imprints actually live. So, without further ado, let's welcome Linda to the show.
Hey,
Hey,
Linda.
Hi,
how are you,
ladies.
Linda?
Great. How are you?
Great,
Really good.
great. Well, you know what, Linda? Can you share with us before we break in and break down your amazing world of, hypnosis? What was your holy shift ball that brought you into this amazing gift that you're sharing with us today?
Well, it's ridiculous. And I believe God is always in ridiculous to catch our attention. And the incredible shift that got me into hypnosis is I got a job as a hypnotist. And I explained, I'm not a hypnotist. And they're like, that's okay. We want to offer hypnosis at this healing center, and we want you to be our hypnotist, and the job is yours. So I went, okay, let me go get trained on hypnosis. I remember years and years before this, I was walking down a strip mall, and there was some hypnosis place in there. And I walked in and I says, I'd like to be hypnotized, and I want to see what it feels like. And they're like, what do you want to quit? And I said, nothing. I like everything I do. I just want to see what it feels like. And they asked me, well, do you smoke? Because I'm sure I smelled like a chimney. I smoked 2 packs of cigarettes a day, 3 if I was at a bar, which is probably another red flag. And I went, sure, okay. And because I knew I love smoking. I wasn't, I'd love to smoke. I walked out of there. That was it. Last cigarette I ever had.
Oh, wow.
And isn't that amazing? And so I must have wanted to on some level. And the only side effect is that, whenever I walk by an electrical outlet, I like to stick my feet. No, there's no side effects. There's just no, it's not even true.
So that was your Holy Shiftballs moment, Linda.
That was a Holy Shiftball moment, and didn't even think about it until years later when I became a hypnotist and went, oh, so that's how it works.
That's how it works.
It does it.
Can you educate our audience and tell us what a guided hypnosis session is like for you? Can you, like for your patients?
Absolutely. As a hypnotist, my job is to help you change your mind. Not for what I want, but for what you want. And so our subconscious is always running the show. So consciously, you may say, oh, I want to start this, I want to stop that. But there's something, the next thing you know, you're still in that old pattern. And so what happens when you are hypnotized, and let me say, Sharon, when you said you were just sitting there with the sunlight and you kind of zoned out and you had an issue going, oh, I'm not sure how long I was there.
Yeah.
You were in hypnosis. We go in and out of hypnosis 10 to 12 times a day. It's totally natural. And so it's the same thing, Bethany, when you talked about, okay, I just started breathing and brought myself to present moment. That's self-hypnosis. And we talk to ourselves all day long. And that is some of the patterns that you see when you go, oh, I can't do this. Oh, I'm no good at this. Blah, blah. And sometimes we say less than kind things to ourselves. And you're always programming your subconscious mind. So what we want to do is program what we want, get rid of the programs we don't want that aren't useful to us, and reprogram to the things that are our heart's desires, what we truly desire. Yeah. And going through, there's several different methods of hypnosis. There's a relaxation, relax your big toe, relax this, relax that. And you can certainly go through that because when you are relaxed, you're more open for suggestions. Mm-hmm. And there's also conversational hypnosis that you can just chat with someone and they go into a hypnotic state. So sometimes people say, oh, I don't think I've ever been hypnotized, or I can't be hypnotized. And I can't be hypnotized is actually absolutely right. You're in total control. So you can only be hypnotized if you want to be. Otherwise, it's like feeding spinach to a 3-year-old. It's only going to happen if they want it to happen. So,
exactly. Yeah.
Right.
Right.
But if you are in a place where you are open and receptive, and some of the things I want to clear up is you are always in control. You are always aware of everything going on around you. And when you had that wonderful moment, Sharon, and you were sitting there with the sun coming in and you're just in that, had there been emergency, they wouldn't have said, oh, she perished in this chair because she didn't. No, you snap out and you go and do something. So
Yeah.
you go in and out of hypnosis 10 to 12 times a day.
So you're always like,
naturally.
even when you're just kind of daydreaming, because we used to call it daydreaming, when you're having a moment of Zen, like Ron says, or you're daydreaming, you're still aware of what's going on around you. So like you say, if there's an emergency, boom, your subconscious knows to snap you back into the present moment so you can.
Yeah, so you can handle the situation.
Gotcha.
And so people who experience hypnosis tend to come out very relaxed and invigorated at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's a great way to shift from point A to point B. Hypnosis is used often for stress, for fears, bad habits.
Yes.
I work with a lot of female entrepreneurs for removing blocks of prosperity so they can open up and receive more prosperity. And also just there's all kinds of things that can go on with it.
Linda, would you say that, anxiety is maybe a surface issue, or is that subconscious patterning?
Yes.
Yes.
It could be both, right? And as I mentioned to you ladies just before we got on the air, I think I was all nervous about this, and then I decided to be excited because in your body, those two things are the exact same feeling. And it depends on the story you tell yourself about it.
Yeah.
So if I go, oh, I'm nervous because this is my very first podcast, and so I'm so nervous because what if something goes wrong or what have you? Or I could say, I'm so excited. This is my first podcast, and amazing things are going to happen, and I'm going to have such a good time.
Yes.
And it's the same feeling within you. So next time, and that's a wonderful shift. It's a quick shift. It's just reframing. So even when you have that, oh, I just feel anxious and I don't even know why. Tell yourself, obviously, you're amazingly psychic and something amazing is going to happen that will reprogram your subconscious mind to go, well, let's go find something amazing for this person, And so that's a great little shift.
That's interesting because this week I did an experiment with myself and I said, I don't care what in the world shows up in my reality. I am winning all the time. Everything is a humongous win for me. Even, I know this is going to might sound kind of bad, but I had a family member crossover this week, and I looked at it. I sent, of course, felt sent love to my family members, but for me, I was like, oh my gosh, I am winning because I am able to be here in Memphis at my house by myself. My parents aren't here. I have two elderly parents that I take care of, and I get to spend this quality time with myself. So I thought I felt that as a win instead of, I could have totally spiraled out and looked at, all of the loss and separation and hurt. But instead I chose something different so I could get a different outcome. So yeah.
I love that.
The win.
Yes, I love that. I often say, what if everything is a gift from the universe? And sometimes it's so obvious that we're like, oh, for me, thank you,
Yes.
And sometimes there's packaging, and then sometimes there's big boxes within boxes, and you have to really dig. And sometimes you have to run straight into that big pile of poop to go, I know there's a pony in here somewhere.
Yeah.
And if you're always looking for the pony, you're going to find it. Yeah, absolutely. I love that.
Yes. Yes.
On your website, Linda, you mentioned nervous system friendly healing. What does that mean? And how does the nervous system factor into emotional or energetic healing?
I love that, because our thoughts will activate our emotion. It's energy, emotion, our emotions. And if our thoughts are frantic, our nervous system will become very frantic as well. So what we do is, when you calm your nervous system, it helps you on a physical level, and mental, emotional, physical level, and spiritual level, and helps you to connect with your true being, and connect you with who you're really supposed to be, and not who others tell you to be or who you think you should be. But it gets you to authenticity, which is very freeing and peaceful. Yeah.
Yes. Linda, what would be one simple thing someone could do listening today, um, to begin becoming aware of their subconscious patterns?
Notice when they show up that you tend to be reacting out of a place where you don't intend to be reacting out of. So in other words, if someone said, you know, I like your blue scarf, and I come back with, well, that's none of your business. they're doing one or two, and I have this overreaction of something. That tells me I'm not reacting to them talking about my scarf. I'm reacting to a lot of other stuff that's back there. So awareness is the very first thing. And uh, what I would implore people to do is to be in present moment. And the best way to get to that is through breath. And as you take a nice deep inhale and you exhale, you put your hands on your heart and say, I am here now. When you inhale, realize that you have been given the breath of life. That is the most magnificent gift you can have on earth plane. Not everyone got to take that breath, but you got it. Look, another gift. So you can't help but be in gratitude. And when you're in gratitude, it brings you here and now. We've never had a problem in present moment. We only have issues in the past, when we pull that sack of emotional fallout and start digging. And then, do you know what happened? Then do you know what he said? Do you know what she did? Or we go to the future and we make up stories. What if? And then we react to those stories as if they're happening now, because subconscious mind doesn't know the difference between, it takes everything in. Yeah.
Yeah.
So be present.
Love it. Love it.
Absolutely. So when you have a client in hypnosis and in hypnotic state, how do you help your clients discern, or how do we discern what's symbolic imagery versus what might actually be a past life recall?
Well, it doesn't matter. Okay, so when someone's in a hypnotic state, and of course this is very client driven. What is it, not what I think you should do, but what is it that you're looking for? And that's what we're doing. And if there's some symbology that comes up for them and helps them do their shift, it really doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's real, if it's made up, if it's past, future, it doesn't matter. And as long as it's meaningful to them and it helps them make the shift. And then what we do is that we will anchor, oftentimes we'll future pace, imagine you're already there. What is it, if you're all nervous or all excited about something, how do you want to feel 3 minutes from now? And imagine that calm space, and then float into that and be there. And so anytime you feel that nervousness coming up, we'll give you an anchor, place your fingers like this, think of the color blue, whatever that is, and it'll puts you right there.
Oh,
Just like music does, right?
Yes.
People go, "Oh, I can't be hypnotized," and I'm like, well, yeah, have the song that came on in your first 8th grade dance. You're right back there, and
yeah.
Yeah. Fragrances too. Certain scents.
fragrances,
Yeah.
Yes.
absolutely.
All right, Linda, we are going to play our game, our segment called Shit or Shift.
I
And
love this.
We
we're
do
going to
too.
talk out some scenarios, and you tell us if it's a shift, aka yes, it's aligned, it's expansive, I'm having it, yes. Or if it's total shit, it's a program, let go of it, no, cut it out, get it out of here. All right, you ready?
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
Sharon,
ready for the hot
first.
seat.
Okay. I'm going to start off with an easy one. Only weak-minded people can be hypnotized. Shit or shift?
Shit. Wonderful, creative, intelligent people. Everyone can be hypnotized if they allow themselves to, unless there is a severe mental disability. But more importantly, the more creative and intelligent you are, the more you can be hypnotized, the easier it is for you.
Love it. All right. Shit or shift. Manifestation works without a nervous system regulation.
Shit. you need to be totally in line. It can work, I suppose. No. Everything needs to be in alignment. Once everything's in alignment, voila, it's there for you.
Yes.
Yeah.
So healing through hypnosis is remembering who you were before the world told you who to be. Shit or shift?
That's beautiful. I'm gonna say shift. And that is before all the programs that were placed in you and all the programs you were told, just as easy as when we're little, we're very intuitive, and big people tell us that's just your imagination. That's just your imagination. And then at some point we go, oh, sit down, relax. It's just my imagination. It's just my imagination. And that's your intuitive hits. So yeah, I love that.
Yes. All right. Shit or shift. Your subconscious mind is more powerful than your conscious mind. Shit or shift.
Absolutely shift. Absolutely, that's true. Because it is a much bigger part of you. It is so important that it has developed your belief systems and the way that you look at the world and everything else. And we do have a critical factor that once that belief system's in there, we can be shown evidence and it's and we'll go, no, that's not true.
Mhm.
So right on. That's very, very shifty. Yes.
Very shifty. Okay. We don't have control issues. We have awareness issues. Shit or shift?
Yes and yes. Bringing awareness is one of the first things. So I'm going to say shift because when you bring awareness to something, it can shift. Bringing awareness shifts all on its own.
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 All right. Final question. Final question. All right. Can hypnosis help regulate the fight or flight pattern? Shit or shift?
It is shift. It can help regulate that. Oftentimes we have issues because it's out of regulation. It's we put a groove in our mind going. Whenever I see a turtle, I freak out. And there's really no reason to have fight or flight with a turtle, but that can get rewired in your brain that way. And so we can actually help shift that through hypnosis. Absolutely. I feel like I was Wonder Woman with the bracelets here. This is really fun.
Right on.
Yes, I love it. That was a great segment.
Yes.
Well, I've got one more thing to ask.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, what is one thing you can share today with our listeners that can shift them out of their shit right now?
Just knowing that you can shift can mean everything. So often we tell ourselves, I have this issue, as opposed to I experience this issue, and there's no way out of it. Just instead of having something, just experience it and know that you're in the process of discovering a way to totally shift it and bring that peace and clarity that you so desire to yourself. Know that there's hope.
Awesome. Great answer.
Yes. What I felt that. I felt the
too.
shift with that.
Yep.
Did y'all? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it in real time, shifting the shit. All right, Linda. Hey, sweetie, we have enjoyed so much you being on the show today. What is one way or several ways our audience can connect with you, to work with you, to get the hypnosis and just to be in your wonderful energy?
Well, thank you. One of the ways is that they can go to herrickhypnosis.com, and on there's a link for a free audio that they can get that help you get into a good place to begin with. And then I also have a number of, there's also a link for a number of group sessions. That is a great way to kind of experience this to begin with, to see if it's right for you. So
awesome.
Wow.
Well, thank you so much, Linda. We really, really, as Bethany said, we really enjoyed having you today. Thank you so much for being with
ladies.
us.
This was a great first time too.
We're glad we made it fun for you. That's wonderful.
You certainly did. Thank you so much.
All right.
Thanks again, Linda, from both of our hearts to yours.
Thank you. Care. I received. Thank you.
Wow. She was a great guest. That was really good. She gave us a lot to think about, for sure.
And just her delivery, that's one thing that you and I discussed about, starting this podcast, was to deliver information in a fun, humorous way, a light way, because what we have found is through humor, the information lands, because you're not in the fight or flight. You're not trying to figure it out. You're laughing, you're elevated, you're excited, and the information lands so much better.
Yep.
So
yeah, absolutely. People digest information easier when they are relaxed and happy. So, and it stays with them longer too.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just love the topics that we bring, because it's all about shifting our shit and trying to, heal and feel and get through this crazy fucking thing we call life.
Exactly. And it's about helping our viewers, our audience, shift their shit as well. So
yes.
That's really important to us. It's important to us to take everyone along with us. As we learn, you learn, and we all expand and grow together. That's the idea, but in a fun way, because we want to have fun with life. We want you to have fun with life.
Well, there's just so much seriousness that we see out in the world. You turn it on and you can feel the frequency. You can feel your body just going, the news, it's ridiculous. So I'm so thankful for everybody tuning into the podcast. And, Sharon, I cannot wait for you to tell me who's on next week.
Next week, we have Rosa Hope. Rosa is a PhD astrophysicist and certified transpersonal hypnotist. She's an award-winning researcher and lecturer who has been invited to share her insights by leading scientific conferences as well as spiritual communities. And her work focuses on one very simple yet profound question. How do we human better?
Whew.
Yeah, so it's going to be really interesting to have Rosa on next week, and we're going to learn we're going to shift a lot of shit next week.
Well, Sharon, I'm already ready to be a better human. Human better. Yeah. Well, you know what, guys? Be sure to like, share, follow, and drop a comment if this episode has shifted your shit. And remember, Sharon, when life kicks you in the balls, be sure to tune in to your Holy Shiftball podcast,
where we help you turn that shit. What do? We help you turn that shit into a shift.
All right. Thank you.
Have a great day, everybody.